Welcome back to Footy for Real, your weekly dose of NRLW news. And Mads, it's good to be back, isn't it?
Yes, it's good to be back. I can't wait to talk about this round.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited. So let's just skip the fluff, I guess. I've had a great weekend, and I'm sure you have too. But let's get into the footy, the real winner. Let's start with the Raiders versus the Eels. And Raiders are someone I really want to talk about because the last two games, both at GIO Stadium, where teams have been known to hate going to Canberra. It's freezing cold. They hate Canberra. 102 points they've had put on them in the last two games at home.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I think especially at home games and trying to get those crowds and your home fans to come out, and it's a bit disappointing. But the Raiders won't be happy, and I think they do have a lot of work to do, and it's a bit scary to see how many points they are getting put on. Yeah,
it certainly is, and I think it's a good bounce back from the Eels too after that loss in New Zealand. But it's not all negatives for the Raiders. It seems like a lot when there's 102 points scored on you in 2 weeks. But the Raiders number one on debut, Elise Simpson, a couple of errors at the back early, but 212 run meters and 2 try assists. That's not a bad debut for a young girl.
Yeah, no, not at all. And she was strong with the ball, and she skips overs really good, and she created those try assists, and I think that's some positive things to come out of their team, and especially a young girl playing at fullback. It's a massive role to get caught in and do that role. And yeah, she had some errors, but they come in nerves and big pressure points as well. But
trust me, sometimes at the back they just happen.
Yeah, exactly. But with the kicks that she was having to catch, Casey Hiku, she is putting up torpees and everything. So that's a hard day at the back as well.
And talking about halves as well, we saw Zahara Tamara go. She hurt her hamstring quite early, setting up the first try. She stayed on the field, which, yes, it's inspirational, but is it silly from the Raiders?
I think so, especially when you knew they were having a tough day at the office there, and especially when she's your main player and main kicker. And that, like you said, it was the first try, and you could just see she grabbed that hemi straight away. So I think when you grab that hemi, it doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't. And I think what might be sort of half of the Raiders' problem is they've had some really big losses. And I feel like they didn't realise how big their losses were going to be. Yes, they've still got Zahara. You've still got Samaima Taufa. Great players. We know that. But when you lose the likes of Arpy Nichols, who has been outstanding, probably one of the Warriors' best, and Ash Quinlan, who's been the Bulldogs' best.
Yep.
They're not small losses, and I feel like, unfortunately for the Raiders, it's going to be a really long year.
Yeah, for sure. And it does show with Arpy Nichols, you're correct there, and with just connection from the back with their middles, because they're quite wide on the A's, and they were wide last week as well. And they just get too much through the middle, around the ruck. And I think that comes back from when you have a great fullback at the back. They're directing you. They're saying get tight, and they're missing that. I think that's what they're missing, and because their defense isn't the best this year. They're normally very strong in defense, and they're a bit sloppy and slow, soft.
Yeah, no, I agree. And although the Eels, back to their round one performance where they were quite strong. Again, Rory Owen, try-double. She's been unbelievable. She's so deceiving. I think to look at her, she looks like a really nice girl. And you probably underestimate how quick she is. And again, I've spoken about that edge with her and Cassie Tohihiku. I really, really think Rory's a great player and a massive future of the game. How do you see her?
Yeah, definitely. I spoke about it on round one, and I was just so excited to see her play because coming through the Origin series too, she absolutely killed it. And she just keeps showing up in every game, and she seems like she's an effort player. She's always around the ball. She's always pushing the kick chase. She's always there. When Cassie Hiku put that bomb up, she was there, first person to get on the ball, score the try. So she's always around the ball. She always wants the ball, and that's a great player that being your side. So
yeah, I remember when she chased Quincy Dodd down in round one.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
She is an effort player.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten over that yet. But another Eels young gun that I want to talk about is Tess McWilliams. Yeah. You know her. You help coach the under-19s team. How did you see her play? Because she's only a few games in, and she's tough.
She is tough, and she is a strong player. She's a hard worker too, but her mindset is so prepared. As a young kid, she's coming through. She knows what she wants. She doesn't let the pressure get to her, and she's just eager to be out there, to be the best for her team. And in the Origin 19s, she's just always putting her hand up. She's effort work as well in the middle, and that job's hard in the middle. But to get caught up and then played her second game now for Para and scoring a bloody try. That's unreal. So she's just she deserves to be up there, and she's going to be a great player in the future even more.
Yeah, she's out there for about 30 minutes, had 11 runs, 110 run meters, and a massive 44 meters post contact, which is really, really important. And I think my highlight of the game, though, the winger Martha Mataele, she had a try, 5 tackle busts on her 26th birthday. So that's pretty impressive as well. Do you have a highlight, Mads, or you just think that one's pretty good?
No, that one was pretty good too. I did like Rory Owen's one as well. But yeah, that the winger one, and especially on her birthday, can't go past that. But
extra special.
Yeah, their outside backs are very strong, Eels. I guess if you get the ball out to them, and with their kicking game with Cassie and Rachel Pearson, it's pretty good to have, even with Zali Faye jumping up for that ball and getting it and then throwing it to Rory. So yeah, there's a lot of them, but well done to Para as well.
Yeah, I agree. We better move on. That's a lot on them two teams, and I feel bad for bagging the Raiders a little bit, but I do, as I said, I think it's going to be a little bit of a long year.
Yeah.
Then the Bulldogs Dragons. This was probably the matchup of the round. I know everyone was excited to watch the Broncos Roosters, but this one was really, really exciting. And Dragons won 18-14, but it was very, very tight. They won it in the last minute of the game. Nita Maynard goes out and puts Casey Ray into a nice little hole behind Taylor Preston there, and they win the game in the last 30 seconds. So pretty impressive. How'd you take that match?
Yeah, definitely. It was actually a really good game to watch, and quite similar. Obviously, the middles just battled at each other, and with the Dragons, they knew they wanted to go down their edge. You could quite see that with their game plan. But yeah, they did very well to hold out the Bulldogs with their massive forward pack. But it was unreal, and it especially went down to the vital minutes, right down to the last minute. So, and then Nita Maynard, she just jumped out, and when she jumps out, you got to be on your toes, and Casey Ray's just pushing up. So that was unreal. And
in her 40th game, which we know is a massive milestone in the NRLW because we have such a shorter season. So that's obviously was really impressive. They also started Nita Maynard, which I thought was, a smart move. Bulldogs, big pack. Dragons, we knew they wanted to get to their edges. Yeah. So we previewed that last week, and then to see that come to fruition, and then for them to move Nita, I think was a really, really smart move.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
Again, big game from Alexis Tavernier. She was absolutely insane. 18 runs, 192 run meters, 100 post-contact meters, and 40 tackles. So
crazy.
She was top in stats. I was looking through, and I'm like, she had a big game. And then when I looked through to see the stats, I was like, holy dooly.
Yeah.
She just topped the charts in everything. So really impressive for them. I thought the Dragons veterans were good. We know all their young guns have the speed and all that sort of stuff. Racine was good. Hannah Southwell. Yeah. With that try, that was just unbelievable.
She just didn't want. She was not stopping. She had the eyes on that try line, and she was going for it, and that was a great run. Also, tipping on 40 games is Holly Wheeler as well for the Bulldogs. So that's unreal as well. Like, especially like you said, in this short competition, for them to play that many games is a credit to themselves, and congratulations to them. But yeah, with all the meters, how their forwards run, it's crazy. Like, you just don't think when you're watching it. And then you go back on the stats and you're like, wow, they do so much work. And the game's going so good with that in it.
Yeah, well, you saw the iconic, I don't know if you saw it, Mads, floating around on Instagram, but the girls taped up their head for the captain's run like a Holly Wheeler special. And I'm like, geez, I don't know about that. I think the hair's going to stay nice and slick. I'm not sure if I'm into it. But no, awesome to see some of the girls notching up some big milestones. I think it's really, really important that we acknowledge that we don't get to play as many games in a season as the men. So it's really nice to see these girls be rewarded with a milestone match. So, yeah, very impressive games from both milestone ladies there. Again, Taylor Preston, good with the boot. We know her kicking game's unreal. Ash Quinlan with some silky ball playing.
Yeah.
That long ball to the winger, it was just like on last tackle, most halves are looking to, get a repeat set if they can, and she just fires out a long ball and they score in the corner. So I think Ash Quinlan's been in some fine form as well.
Yeah, she has, and that's Ash Quinlan's key. Like, she came from touch football, and she's one of the best touch football players you'll ever see. And she just threw that many long balls in touch, and no one could stop her, man. They were just so clean and crisp, and it just showed out there as well. And her decision-making and eyes-up football as well on those short sides, and you have to be aware. You don't know what she's going to do, because then she can either dummy and go herself. But It's nice and crisp over the lob balls, and a lot of coming out. But I think she is one of their key players. And with Andy Robinson for getting her first try out there, unreal.
I know, and she did take on. We just talked about the veterans, but she did take on Ray on the outside, Ray McGregor, and her speed. Yeah, Andy was just too quick, got over. It was a really nice try, actually. I think she'll be pretty happy with that one to add that one to the highlight reel. But speaking of highlights, my highlight of the match is Nita Maynard putting Casey Ray over. I think when the game come down to it, 40 games in, Nita stood up and that experience showed, and Tay Preston probably getting a little bit too excited on that edge there and jumping up to try and make the tackle, and then they just play inside her. So I think that was mine. 30 seconds to go. Doesn't ice the cake much better than that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's obviously hard, and I know Tay's hurt, and she obviously missed those 2 field goals right before it. And then Bulldogs were probably thinking that they were going to go for a field goal, and that's when people rush in and get tight, bit frantic there. But Nita Maynard seen something, and that's a great highlight, and you can't top that off.
Yeah, you can't
to win like that.
And I didn't want to talk about this one this week, but I will. Again, another tight loss for my Sharkies against the Cowboys. We've now gone 0-2 at home, so we're it's a little bit hard. We love to travel, and we've spoken about that, how we've got to be better at home. And the Cowboys beat us by 2, so 16-14. Possession was 50-50. And again, I always go to you first. How did you see the game?
Yeah, definitely. And if you watch the game, it didn't feel like there was any blowouts or anything. It was really tight. And then obviously there was a couple of tries I guess you girls did bomb, and which could have changed the game as well. But which is hard. Everyone's going to make mistakes. There's little moments in these games that has to ice, and that's just a part of the game. And sometimes it just doesn't work out. But I thought the game was really well. I think there's certain areas that obviously the Sharks girls could have fixed, but exactly the same as the Cowboys. And it was just the Cowboys had obviously Kira Dibb and Jakaya Whitfield out, but the other girls stepped up. It was really good to see. Like Tillett came in and she set up the first try. And then they had a nice little highlight. Actually, I like it with the new play when they went to Georgia and Tiana's side. And they hit, normally it's a block, but they hit the forward, and the forward just ran straight through. So that's actually another new play in the game, and it was really cool to see. But it's hard to defend, and I think you girls will bounce back. Obviously, well, that was a hard one after having a good win. But yeah, it's just I think those completing those sets and obviously getting back in those games and obviously those mistakes hurt.
Yeah, I want to wrap the Cowboys. I do, because they're got quite a young pack, and they were great. Lillian Yarrow, Mackenzie Wheel, and S.A. Banu, I thought they were so impressive in that game. And like you mentioned, with Kira Dibb out, who is a superstar, we know Kira Dibb, and Jakaya Whitfield, who's probably, their most exciting or highlight reel player that they've got. So someone who can just create something out of nothing, her lightning speed, all that stuff. So to have both of them out and still come away with a win, I thought was super, super impressive. And I know the Sharks, this one hurts. Losing by 2 in round 1 hurt. But doing it again in round 3, that hurts again, because we know this competition's so tight, and we know that one loss could be the difference of making finals or not, and we don't get a chance at redemption. We only play each other once. So, this one hurt. And Tale Holmes, though. Yeah,
she's a workhorse.
She started in the back row. She can play in the middle plays well above her weight. She's made 40 tackles, missed none.
Yeah, she's crazy.
That's so impressive. And she's one of those players that she's an absolute clown off the field, and you're like, what goes through your head? She's one of those people where you're just like, oh my god, you have to be friends with her, because she's just,
you gotta know,
and she makes me feel smart, so I hang around her all the time. But no, she's a great human, but she's one of those players that every single week, every single player is happy that she's there. Yeah, she's one of those players that you just trust, and as a footballer, that is, probably the best thing that can be said about you is that people really want to play with you. And 100%. I think she's that player. And I think she was our top performer. Again, Steph Faulkner, who debuted last week, scored 2 tries on debut against the Raiders, comes into this matchup against the Cowboys, on a high. as you would be. And to come into a tough match, I thought she was our forward with the best leg speed.
Yep.
She's quick. She just hits everything. I thought she was really, really impressive and probably solidifies her spot again.
Yep.
And then Grace Lee Weeks on debut. She was
so
great.
Good.
I've been waiting for Gracie to debut and
Gee, she's quick. She took off and then obviously ran overs and set up that nice try on the edge for Georgia.
I know, silky hands.
She just took off and I was like, oh.
I remember before the game saying to her, remember, it's like, just have a carry if you need. Like, first time she got the ball, just bang, sets up a try. I'm like, okay, I'll just shut my mouth next time.
Thanks, Jada. Input.
No, she was great. She was awesome. And Anessa Biddle obviously comes back, but I don't see why she shouldn't stay in the team, Gracie, and that's obviously way above my head, and I just sit there and watching at the moment. But no, she was great, Gracie, and I think it's a matter of time before we see her solidify a spot 100%. In that team. And it was funny at the Jersey Prezzo, her mum started talking about her brother Kaio plays for the Raiders, Kaio Weeks, and we know he's a superstar, but she goes, now everyone's going to be calling him Gracie's brother instead of the other way around. So I thought that was really beautiful awesome. As well. And another brother-sister duo in the NRLW. I also thought, sorry, I'm touching on everyone.
No, you're right.
Emma Veron tried really hard. Her effort when we needed points. Sometimes we get stuck in just the cycle of just playing footy. But when you need to pull a rabbit out of a hat, you need someone to stand up and be willing to take a risk. And I thought she did that. Shantae Kiriratu put a little kick over the top. Emma didn't get there, but they're trying. And I think you can't blame someone for trying because if it comes off, they're a legend. And if it doesn't, what have you got to lose?
And I think touching on, obviously, Tale Holmes, as a half, and I played with her as my second row, she's one of my favourite second rows because they always hunt from the inside. They always protect you. They're always there. And she's always fast on her feet. And even though for her size, she's just going at it. And as a half, like, it's really good to have someone like that. And then it just grows trust. And she knows how to hit a hole. So it's really good. But, yeah, a lot of great players out there on the weekend. I just want to touch on Crystal Blackwell as well. She done a fantastic job out the back, obviously filling in for Jakaya Whitfield. And she's very fast and always around the ball like an effort. But even her ball skills on the weekend I thought was really good. So both teams, so many great players out there. And I guess the score did show it.
And I think my highlight for the game, we've been rapping Tale Holmes and what a great person she is, but she got absolutely folded by S.A. Banu. It was a monster hit. If you haven't seen it, go have a look at it. But this happens, we just said Tale's all effort, but this happens to her every fortnight, I reckon. There's a massive shot just put on her, and she just smiles and gets back up again, and they don't tickle.
No, I find it so hilarious too when she got that massive hit. She was laying down, her head was just looking up to the sky. She's probably thinking like, oh God, not again. But that was a great hit. And she just gets up, plays the ball, and even though she's like thinking probably, oh, geez, that hurt. But she's strong as anything. But my highlight would be probably Grace Weeks. Taken off that obviously on the edge there and setting up Georgia for the try on the edge there. So I just thought, Grace Lee Weeks was unreal and I was really proud to see her out there.
Yeah, same, Mad, same. Moving on, Tigers v Titans. Titans won that one 24-12. I feel kind of bad for the Tigers. I don't know why. I just feel like you can see the effort. They just haven't got a win yet. And I still do think that they're building. I think, what about the hat-trick from Caitlin Turnbull? Yeah. She is so, I've said this last week, she's so involved for a winger.
Yeah, I was going to say, you mentioned her a lot and we have touched on her. And this week, she was unbelievable. All her tries and then there's such effort. And even with her ball when she's doing the out back carries, it was actually really good. She has great footwork. She's actually strong for a not as big size body for a winger, but her finishes for the tries, she's not giving up. And it's just unbelievable. And obviously having a hat trick for the Tigers is fantastic. And I think that's their go-to.
No, I agree. I think Lizana Lutu had a much better game this week as well and tried hard all game. Although Titans, without Georgia Hale, who we know is a tackling machine, she's incredible, but Jess Elliston had a really big game. 24 runs, 213 run meters. Like, they're scary numbers for a middle. I think they were crazy good. good to see the Titans had Jamie Chapman back, and I'll touch on my highlight now because what about, like, she scores that try off of Lauren Brown and gets that ricochet, and great try.
Yeah.
But the backflip that she did for the post-try celebration was arguably more impressive. Does a little cartwheel, does a backflip. I thought that. And then Caitlin Turnbull.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. They held up like as if she was a bull. Yeah. And I think it's funny because her last name's Turnbull.
Yeah.
Ha, ha, ha. So, I actually thought it was really, really...
That was good.
It was really funny and really fitting. So, yeah, that was a game that I was excited. I thought that'd be a good little matchup. Obviously, both teams haven't had the wins they wanted. So, I really thought that was... a good game to watch too.
Yeah, I think we're touching on like how the Tigers are a bit struggling at the moment. I think the Titans did get over them because they haven't been as strong either. But with the Titans, I think they're probably having more experience. Obviously, like with Kezi Apps and Salah in there, they're doing a great job for the Tigers, and they're always on the ball and doing the hard work. But I think the Titans had Lauren Brown, Jamie Chapman, Jess Ellison. They had all like the strength there. So just I think had a bit more experience in there. Lutu did much better this weekend with the boot, which was really good to see. And I think they're just missing icing those little opportunities. I think. Yeah.
Moving on, Broncos Roosters. I thought that like last week I was just itching to watch this game. Two big heavyweights. We know that they're at the top of contention for the premiership, and their performances have been showing that. And again, a close game. Roosters won 30-26. Anything to mention, Mads? What were your moments?
Yeah, well, Roosters came out of the blocks and started very fast with the first two tries, and Jasmine Strange scored in the first, I'd say 2 or 3 minutes, I think it was, or maybe even a minute. And it was just crazy. And then, but Broncos do start slow. And they have had that in the semi-finals before against Roosters as well. So they're always the slow starters, but then they came back into the game, and there was just so many great opportunities for both sides. And I think we'll touch on it heaps, I know, when we're talking about this, but Tamika Upton is, if you give her the ball, she'll run around anyone. And the more time she has the ball in her hands, the more vital she's going to be for the Broncos, and she is the key. And like we've spoken, she knows what's going to happen before anyone else does. And she's on the field, she's throwing her hands up saying, give me the ball. And that's all you need to do, because then she could see Amber Hall on the edge. She just knew she was going to beat her.
Yeah.
And even though Amber Hall did a great work, she still got there, but Meeks was just too fast.
Yeah, you don't stop that sort of stuff when Tamika Upton's got the ball that close to the line and she's moving that quick, and she just looks comfortable at the moment. She's so, like you said, every time she doesn't get the ball, she looks like she's got the shits, and that's a great thing.
Yeah.
That is an awesome thing. I think, I say Taryn Aiken's a great player. We've got some great centres, but Tamika Upton is the best in the game. Yep. I think when she wants to create something, she does. And honestly, just in awe of her. The more footy she gets, the better the Broncos look, and the better NRLW looks, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's been some games in the past as well when she doesn't get the ball. She's had a bit of a quiet game, and the scores aren't anywhere near that. Like, whatever team she's in, even if it's an Origin, like if she had the ball more in her hands, I reckon they would have had more points with the Origin. But with the Broncos, she's 2 steps ahead of everyone else. And even with her little rubber kicking game, that's even vital. But she's just unbelievable, and she's one of the best up there. But with the battle of the centres as well, that was unreal. I think the score did show how tight these two teams are.
Yeah.
The Broncos did fight back, and then unfortunately Meeks did actually make one mistake at the back, which is really not like her, and she'll be gutted about it. But she made that mistake, and then the Roosters did score after that mistake and just got that little bit of a head. But I think the momentum changed there. But that's like an unreal game. I really liked watching that because there's obviously the middles, Amber Hall, Tessa Poulet. She done unreal. She came on. Koenig, through the middle. Koenig is playing unreal.
Yeah.
Like
I think
ball
the thing
play.
is Koenig's actually hitting lines and stuff too, whereas I think that's probably such a bonus of having her in the middle. But, we've seen her on an edge want a ball play, and the Roosters play that block shape
With
off
Jess,
Koenig. And Jess is like a back rower. She can run a hard line as well. But I think to see Koenig actually just flying onto the ball, it's really impressive, and obviously the move changes work really, really well for them. But you did touch on Otessa Poulet. She's only 21, 22 this year. She was a back rower coming through the ranks at the Chooks, and I played with her, and she was a gun then.
Yep.
She's lightning quick for how big she is,
100%.
and she's gotten even bigger. She's stronger.
She's fitter this year. She looks much fitter.
And she's been absolutely tearing it up for them. Obviously, Rima Butler, again, very strong, but it's Otessa Poulet for me. I think she's going to be one of the best front rowers in the comp, and massive fan of her work. I remember an under-19s try when she couldn't just let me have the try for free, and sort of an effort area like that, and for a back rower to nearly catch a fullback, pretty embarrassing. But no, she's great. I think she was really good, and I wanted to touch on Tamika again to end it. Is like, she is just like, it's no coincidence that success follows her. Yeah, she went to the Knights. They win 2 premierships, and I'm not saying they didn't have a great team. You've got Caitlin Johnson-Green there. Like, you had Millie Elliott there, who's a gun. Jessie Southwell, obviously. But it's no coincidence.
Was at Broncos when they won it before she went to
Knights?
So every team she's in, I want to be in that team.
Same. No, she'll, no, Sharks, we don't want her, right? I'll be out of a spot. But no, she's a weapon, an absolute weapon, and an out-and-out superstar. So really good to watch her at her usual best.
Yeah, I'll tip on quickly one of the highlights in that game was a really nice spine play, and as halves and fullbacks, we really love this play. But Jada Ferguson did an outstanding job to jump out, hold up the marker, hit Gail Broaden and holding up the A. But normally they give it straight back to the fullback that's coming from the inside. But this play, instead of doing that, Gail Broaden gave it straight back to Jada, and then Jada gave it back to Meg straight through, and then Lauren Dam scored. It was an unbelievable try, and I've never seen that game, that play before, and I think a lot of people would be still in it too.
Yeah, you're right. You don't usually see the 9 to the 6 or 7 back to the 9 to then hit the 1. Work well for them. Yeah. So I don't know how many times they'll be able to pull out that old trick though. But why not pull it out against the Chooks?
Exactly.
And no, they were great. Broncos won't be happy that they lost that close one, but again, you've got to be pretty happy with a close performance against the Chooks. I thought Anetta Nuasala being back, she was great. But there was a couple of try-saving tackles, one on Julia Robinson late in the game, which was a very important play, and that would have put the Broncos in the lead. So, again, very great matchup and another good game of NRLW. So if you're not watching it, you should be.
Right.
Knights versus Warriors at McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle. The Knights got up 36-20. Knights forwards, they just started really, really strong. I thought Eva McEwen, young gun, great, plays again, acts like she's experienced. Like she was a gun. And, of course, Yasmin Clydesdale, who had an enormous game.
She ran a mark.
Oh, she's just like, I understand why she's their captain. Yeah. She's a leader in the way in the way she performs every week, and she's so consistent. Yeah. How'd you see the game, Mads?
Yeah, definitely. And I'll touch on, obviously Yazzie. She's a hard runner, and she made Warriors have nightmares on that edge with obviously Emily Curtin, but they had a game plan and they just kept going. And I guess Jessie Southwell just controlled that game. And like you said, Eva McEwen, she just did unreal. And I think she's learning a lot of Yazzie because she's an edge player too, and she has that aggression, like Yazzie has that aggression, and she runs hard. But she did that in the 19s Origin as well, and she's another great young player coming through, and she has a bit of a feisty attitude out there too. She's not stepping down. You need that.
My dad always says to me, you need that. Yeah. Someone like that. Yep. Words that can't be said on air, but you need someone with that sort of that emotion and that person who just wants to kill people.
100%.
So no, they're great people to have in your side too.
Definitely.
You need them. They're competitive. They want to win. You want to play with people who want to win. And I thought again Yazzie was great. I thought Jessie Southwell had the ball on a string. Her short kicking game has. Oh, in Origin, she was great. Yeah. Again, she's just taken that form. Her short kicking game, I'm not surprised. Like, she's always been a very classy player with the ball, and her skill set's been really, really sharp. But, again, impressive from a young number 7.
Number 7, I think she had 2 or 3 forced dropouts, and then she put it on a string for another try as well. So she just had that game in control, and they made obviously Warriors had a bit of nightmares on the edges. Even though the forwards were really good, but they sucked them in, and then the edges just had no space, way too much space. Sorry, but I thought the Warriors will be disappointed and bit down, but Appy Nichols at the back is just unbelievable. Another effort player. She's really controlling. She does really great in defense. If they do break the line, she's always there. She's always saving those tries. And as a leader, they're going to keep following her. And, they just obviously missing that bit of experience, obviously, around the game management and everything to get them out of trouble.
Yeah, in saying that, a newcomer to the game, I thought the Warriors number 6, Patricia Maliepo,
really
again,
like her.
she has, I just said this about Jessie, so I sound like an idiot saying it about everyone, but again, her skill set.
Yep.
You can tell she's played footy for a long time, and whether that's rugby union or rugby league, she's got the skill. And I thought she was great. Her pass, kick, some tough tackles as well. So showed that she's a tough cookie and a sharp shooting goal kicker. I thought she was showing the class in the goal kicking, which we love to see. But my highlight, it's probably a tie. I think Jessie Southwell's great short kicking game and Yazzie Clydesdale's captain's knock. I feel like we're going to talk about Yazzie every week. She's one of them players.
I agree.
But let's move on now into the round 4 preview. Very exciting games. Again, the Warriors v Titans. We're back at Go Media Stadium in Auckland. Very exciting. How do you see this one unfolding?
Yeah, I actually think it's going to be a tight one. Obviously, a similar type of teams, a bit inexperienced and inexperienced. But, I think the matchup's going to be really good. But I think if Chapo's out the back, she's going to cause a lot of heartache on the edges because that's what the Knights just did to the Warriors. So I think they really got to clean that up because if your Chapo's around, she's going to take that space. And I think Lauren Brown will direct that. And hopefully the Warriors bounce back and have another strong effort. I think they'll be a bit disappointed after having a home game. I know it's a bit of a high and then they're on the road again. So it is a bit hard, especially for them always travelling in and out. I think hopefully it's going to be another tight game and Warriors a bit closer. But I think Titans are going to be too good.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go the Warriors, and I think the matchup for me is going to be Patricia Maliepo. We just spoke about her versus Lauren Brown, and I think these two are two of the main cogs for their team. I think their sides will be looking to show. Both sides will be looking to show, that they're a real threat in the competition. Coming off, obviously the Warriors coming off a loss, and the Titans not coming off the best season so far. I'm really, really excited for this one. I think the Warriors are my tip because of how well they performed in Auckland 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I'm really, really excited. I think they're going to try and make that their fortress. If you want to come play us in New Zealand, you're going to have to travel. Hard. You're going to be tired. You're going to be away from family. There's so many excuses for when people travel. They hate traveling.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think they're going to try and make that their fortress there. Moving on, though, the Roosters v Bulldogs. Exciting one. How do you see this one? You look excited.
I'm excited for this one. This one's going to be great. Middle pack going to go at each other. They got Tekka back.
I reckon they're just going to fight. Hey, I reckon there's going to be a fight in this game.
100% there is. And I know Corbs and Josie Kelly Hurst, they've been connecting up really well and they've just been controlling that team so well. And Bridie Parker at the back. And with Keely and Koenig, they're like another halves as well. So I think their spine's going to be better, more experience, and probably give them a little bit more. I know the Bulldogs are just a forward mentality and then the kicking game off Tay. So I think the Roosters are going to throw more at them, and I'm going to go with the Roosters, especially when they're at home, Allianz Stadium. But bloody hell, I'm excited for it.
Same. I think it's going to be the clash of the Giants in the middle. That alone should sell some tickets. Hopefully, we just said we're going to bring back the Biff in this game, and both of us don't even play for those teams. So hopefully that gets some people excited for that one as well. My tip of the Roosters, I think they're too good. I think they're too strong. We spoke about it. We spoke about it before the season even started. They're just the team that's got strike power everywhere. So I don't think you can count them out. They're my tip this week.
Don't forget they still have Taryn Aiken to come back.
Oh, my God.
Where do they stop?
Perfect. So if she can be out when the Sharks play. No, she, again, when I was talking about Meeks, she's just one of those players, again, that you can't predict. And that's what makes players good.
Yeah.
I think. So
it'll be interesting to see how that comes in with their spine, how it works. Like if Corbs will go back to fullback or Josie goes back onto that 14 type of role with the hooker or come into the halves. they have so much movement, but John Strange likes to be a bit unique and change things up.
Yeah, he does.
Really cool. And it works.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think, I don't know if Corb's, coming back from a knee is a massive deal.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that'll stop them. I think originally they would have put Corb's straight to the back. And then Bridie back on the wing.
Yeah.
Tane Navidi's been playing well. So it's going to be watch your space.
Yeah, wherever they are, they're going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah. So moving on, the Cowboys versus the Raiders. Cowboys back at home again. I think this one is a battle of the little nines. And I say little, they're two girls who are quite small. Emma Manzelman, I didn't realise how much dog she had in her.
Yeah.
She's feisty.
Yeah, she was unreal.
But yeah, her versus Shantae Tamara, who strong little nine. Gosh, she is shorter than I am, and I say I'm a little girl. But no, she was good again. I know, she's tough. She'll be great. And I just don't know. I don't know if Raiders will have the pace to keep up with the Cowboys.
No, I think the Cowboys will be on a high as well. And obviously back at home, they really want to, you know yourself, when you're at home, you don't want to let your hometown down. And they'll be wanting to make a statement there. And like you said, with the hookers, they're Queensland battle. They're both Queensland hookers. So they're just going to go at each other. But how about Emma Manzelman? I didn't even know she could do goal kicking. And she was slotting them. And I was like, oh, good on you. But she's a great player. I've always rated her. She's jumps out of hooker so quick. She's like a dotty, and just knows when to jump as well. So, I'm going to go with the Cowboys that game. Yeah, I'm going with the Cowboys as well. Moving on to the Sunday matchups, the Eels versus the Knights. What do you think of Mads? Because this is an interesting one. Eels v Knights. Yeah, it is going to be an interesting one. But I'm going to go with the Knights. I just think they're on a roll now. They're getting into their structure. They know what to do. Jessie Southfield's really game management is unreal and just kicking game. But Rachel Pearson's kicking game. Battle of the former New South Wales halves. So it's going to be a really good challenge. And as halves, you just want that. You want to challenge yourself against the best. Yeah. And they've been both the best. So, and their kicking game's just unreal. So it's going to be a really good game. And the outside backs is going to be a big battle too, because they're very edge players as well. So, but I reckon Yazzy's just going to have too much control on that edge and going to run amok. Yeah, well, I'm going to go a weird tip here. Yeah. I'm going to say I reckon this one will go to extra time. Ooh, and I'm going to come back next week and say I'm the dumbest person ever. But no, I think this one's going to be tight. I think the Eels have to bring the right attitude. Yeah. In New Zealand, they look flat. They looked really not like the team that they were in round one compared to how they were in round two. Yeah. So I think they've got to bring that again. They've got to be on their A game if they want to match it with the Knights. And I think if someone gets up early, couple of tries up, I think there's potential to run away with it. But there's pretty good attitude in both teams. I think they're both just got to show up on the day. Yeah. So, weird one. I'm going to draw there. Last couple of matchups, we've got the Dragons v Broncos. Thoughts? Yeah, the Dragons, they obviously played good on the weekend, and Tegan Berry obviously is going to be another big inclusion of this game as well. So, but Racine, this whole spine's really connecting up really well, and I think more games they get together, the better they're going to be. And I think on their edges, obviously with Indy Bostock, she's been killing it. Keely Brown, she did unreal on the weekend too. But I'm going to stick with the Dragons, even though their home game, Wynn Stadium, it's going to be unreal. It's always a good game down there. But Broncos coming off a loss, I will be scared. Yeah. Because Tamika Upton's going to come out firing. So the Dragons have a big task on their hands, but you want this challenge. After a win, you want to back it up. Yeah. So I'm going to go with the Dragons here. My key matchup, I don't think I can go past the number ones. Yeah. Tegan Berry, Tamika Upton. They're both amazing runners of the ball. They give us unforgettable highlights every week. Every single week there's a highlight from at least one of these girls. So it's really, really exciting. I think they're different fullbacks. Yeah. Tegan, obviously, lightning fast. I think she's done a great job at being around the footy more. But yeah, I just... Tamika, I think she'll put on another clinic, and for that reason, I'm going to tip the Broncos. Yeah, that's fair. Last game of the round, and the most important because it's the Cronulla Sharks taking on the Tigers. The key matchups for me, I really was excited to watch Bucky Lozana-Lutu take on Shantae Kiriaratu. Yeah.
Shantae has come back from a year of no footy.
Yeah.
She looks silky.
Yeah.
Everything she touches is good.
Yeah.
I think she needs to touch the footy more. To be honest, I think we look really good down her edge when we're playing footy. I just think we don't go there enough, and she's in a new team, and is it that reason? Like, I think she's touching the footy more than she did in round one. So I think we need to go to her. We obviously have a Nessa Biddle coming back, who is just a machine. She'll probably run for 400 metres or something like that with the team on her back, as she usually does. Superstar. Yeah, I'm just looking for the Sevens to get really, really involved. And my tip is the Sharks. I think the Sharks will be looking to bounce back again. And I know I'm biased, but I genuinely think that that's not who we are, is those couple of close losses that we've had. And we need to ice some things a little bit better. And our forwards will be looking to have a good start and get back into the match. I think we've lost that middle a couple of times now, and we're not willing to do it a third time.
Yeah, no, and I know you girls, and you aren't going to let that back down, and you're going to come out firing. And I'm going to pick you girls as Sharkies, and I think
smart lady.
Yeah, like you said. But with that saying that, Sharks and Tigers, we always have a tight draw. Remember that game?
Oh, don't even talk about it.
So we always have a tight draw, and sometimes those games are hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a bit complacent. You get a bit just on your, like, Sydney falls at a bit. But Shantae, I agree with you. I reckon she needs more hands on the ball, and she is playing so direct, which is great for a half. She's playing direct and giving it out the back or hitting the edges, and that's causing havoc on the edges. So in her kicking game, I reckon, she definitely needs more hands on the ball. But, I think with your middles, I think you got to tighten that up. And against with the Tigers, just moving them around, I think you would be too good. Especially, I think Dottie needs to get in the hands on the ball a bit more too, and plays out of the 9. You know how, obviously, that is vital for you girls too. But I reckon you will bounce back, you will be strong, and you would want to give it to the Tigers.
Yeah, no, we definitely do. And you touched on it, but the Sharks haven't beat the Tigers in the history of the NRLW team at both clubs. So frustrating, but looking to get a bit of redemption on this one. Last year, Sharks went to the grand final, and the last round game, they lost to the Tigers, who got the wooden spoon. So that's probably just shows you how close this competition has been and is. I think this will be a really exciting game to watch, as do I think that all of these games will be exciting to watch. So that's all we have time for today. Thank you for watching Footy for Real, and remember, if you found it interesting, leave a comment.